giving time. And let me read to you 1 Timothy 6:16 to 19. The Bible says, "Tell those rich in this world's wealth to quit being so full of themselves and so obsessed with money, which is here today and gone tomorrow. Tell them to go after God, who piles on all the riches we could ever manage, to do good, to be rich in helping others, to be extravagantly generous. If they do that, they build a treasury that will last, gaining life that is truly life." And there are 4 things that we can learn from the verses that we have read. First is, let's put our hope in the Lord. In every need that we have, in every trial that we are facing, let's put our hope in the Lord. Second is, the Lord richly provides us everything for our enjoyment. Sino din gusto mag-enjoy sa ilang life? Did you know that the Lord's purpose for us is to enjoy our lives and to live it more abundantly? And I believe na tanan kita gusto mag-enjoy sa atong kabuhi. And here, it is good to hold on to this promise that the Lord will give us everything that we need para sa ato ng kalipayan kag para sa ato ng enjoyment according to His perfect plan. And thirdly, always do good and be rich in good deeds. And fourth, be generous and be ready to share. Church, one way of showing God that we put our hope in Him and is through the giving of our tithes and offerings. Ang mga habal sa Bible, ang mga nagasalig sa Ginoo, they will never be put to shame. Somebody say amen. Yes. Ang mga nagasalig sa Ginoo, they will never be put to shame. Somebody say amen. Yes. Those who trust in the Lord will never lack. Yes. For He promised that He will never leave us nor forsake us, and He also promised to bless us as we become faithful to Him. Church, let us give to the Lord all that is due Him, and let us always remember that God is faithful, that God is good, and He deserves the best that we have. This is your church, this is your home. Come and give to the Lord because He deserves the best that we can give. Let us stand up and give to the Lord with a cheerful heart and a big smile on our faces. Baskets will be placed in front. Let's give to the Lord all that is due Him. God, we trust You. And today, O Lord, we choose again, we decide to put our hope in You, for You are our faithful Father, promising us that You will never leave us nor forsake us. All glory to be Yours, Lord. In Christ's name we pray. Amen and amen. Church, I would like to welcome every one of you again to Trinity Christian Fellowship. Welcome to our 10 a.m. celebration. Can I have a raise of hands for those who came here for the first time? Sa atin yung mga bisita diri sa balay. No? For those who came here for the first time, we would like to welcome you to TCF, Trinity Christian Fellowship, our heartbeat as a church. We have our mission statement, which is to raise up true worshipers of God and to saturate the city with His gospel. And for today, we have our guest, which would be introduced by our speaker for today. But then again, no further ado, I would be introducing our speaker for today, no? With the absence of our senior pastors, Pastor Dave and Ate Jervelyn King, who are now in Singapore. Both of them are now in Singapore. Kaya take up sila pastoral ng extension, bigyan ng mga trainings and everything. And with their absence, we have our speaker for today, which we call, nang ginabansagan, ini siya nga papsi ng lahat. Papsi ng lahat, no? Mapabata, bisa ng mga magulang sa iya, tatawag niya po papsi, no? I am personally blessed by his life because of how he took on the greater challenge and take heed of God's call in his life. No, kung mag-obey ka sa Ginoo, very good life, ganyan mo. But here is this man who at one point in his life surrendered everything. Italikdan niya kung ano pa iyang dreams because he had to pursue God's call and God's will for his life. And because he is pursuing this call of God sa iyang mga buhi, many people are being blessed. Amen? That I believe nga, ikaw man guro, kung dira at one point or the other, you have been blessed also by his life. So without no further ado, would like to welcome on stage our very own Pastor Oliver Fetalvero.
Okay, good morning sa tanan. Ngayong aga. I'm blessed to be here, be back, and it's my first time actually to speak sa inyong tuwig, you know. And as what Tintin said, our senior pastors are not here. I-extend sila 2 weeks sa ilang training na para mamayo pag itong simbahan. Kung gusto nyo mamayo itong simbahan, and that's why they are there, and excited na next week because they'll be coming back home sa ato. So, in line with that, last week nagpagawa sila video na nag-hi-hi na may mga forest sa likod, nakita nito. No, so, syempre, si Pastor David Igapon magkalipat ng send message sa ato. So, let's watch this message for us for today.
Hi TCF, and a blessed Sunday to all of you. We are here in Johor, Malaysia for our breakthrough weekend. So Jervelyn and I are not together because she is in the women's breakthrough while I'm in the men's breakthrough. And we're so excited with the things that we're going to learn in the next 3 days, and also with the things that we can bring home and share with each one of you. It is our desire that each one of us will grow more in our relationship with the Lord. Well, last week I shared with you the importance of authenticity. One thing we learned here is that in Covenant is that they are living an authentic lifestyle where there's no pretense, but they are open to their weaknesses and struggles, at the same time willing to learn and to grow. And so that's one thing we'd like to see developed in our church, the value of authenticity. But today I would like also to share with you another thing that we learned. Here in Covenant, another thing that they give importance to is that when they face circumstances and problems, instead of pointing finger and looking at the mistake of other people, they would ask themselves, where can they change? And so one of their value is change begins with me. A little similar with what we say, if I change, everything changes. And so instead of looking at the mistake of others or the pointing finger at the fault of others, we need to learn to ask ourselves, what do I need to change? And when we begin to change, we begin to see things changing around us. Maybe it's not the problem of another person. Maybe it's our problem. And maybe when we change our attitude, when we change the way we treat other people, they too will begin to change. As a church, we are not perfect. We are growing together as a church. Whenever we see imperfection, let us ask ourselves, what can I contribute as I begin to change myself? So God bless you and see you next Sunday.
Blessed day, TCF. I am right now here in Malaysia for the Women's Breakthrough Weekend together with the leaders in the church of Pastor Edmund Chan. The one thing that I have learned and I'm still learning is surrender. Surrender is giving to the Lord what is in the first place not mine, but giving it to Him so that I will be able to embrace His will. Miss you, everybody. See you next week.
We thank the Lord for our senior pastors, no? And first time nila nag-selfie video, I think, no, and para na siya sa inyo. And yesterday we had our orientation of rescue kabataan. Sino ara dito gani? Sino dito na-bless? Ako personally na-bless ko, na-ignite ko, na-empower ko, na-remind ko sa passion ni Lord. You know, and we are honored and privileged to have the founder with us today. No, siya ay nagpatukod, siya ay nagpasugod sa Rescue Kabataan. And if you can only hear her story kung paano yung nagsugod, kung paano yung nagpadayot ang ining Rescue Kabataan, you will be blessed, you know. And again, I'm honored to introduce to you, to give her testimony, ang iyang kabuhi, i-share niya sa atin this morning. Let's all welcome the founder of Rescue Kabataan, Miss Abigail Mesa.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. Sabi ko kanina kay Oliver, ang dami pala. Ang dami palang wala kahapon. So sad. And honestly, I'm so sad because before I give what God has, share what God has done in my life, Rescue Bataan kasi has no age limit. Okay? Meaning, of course, yung 15 below, hindi. Pero 15 all the way to heaven, pwede. Okay? So, parang nung nakita ko, ang daming wala. Bakit po? Ano pong topak nyo? Bakit po wala kayo? Now, if you were able to listen to me yesterday, you know how I speak. Even my leaders, Pastor Peter Tachi, Pastor Ricky Sardo, and their wives, they know how I speak. I speak because galing ako sa kalye. Hindi ako pwede magpabebe, hindi naman ako pwede magpunta na dito magpakyut, di ba? Ano nyo naman po, given na maganda, given na yon. Pero hindi na kailangan magpakyut, di ba po? So I'm so sad. And I really pray po that the next time we have a training, sana po talaga nandun. Yung rest of kabataan kasi are really looking for kuyas and ates, and titas and titos and nanay and tatays. Okay po? Kasi may policy siya na kapag high school student ang rest of kabataan, hindi pwede yung same age level. Kaya perfect tong group na to. Kaya kung magsisi po tayo lahat at mag-repent bago po tayo magpakuha kay Lord. Di ba? Nanginayang po ako. Nanginayang ko kasi yung schedule po na to, yung schedule ko kahapon, itong 2 days na to, ay sinipit talaga, ginawan talaga ng paraan. Kasi they were trying to move it ng April. Parang gano'n. Sobrang puno po kasi yung schedule. Yung schedule ko po. So talagang pinilit nila Pastor Dave na makapunta ako ng etong schedule. Ito na lang po yung nag-iisang bakanteng schedule. So, tapos nung nakita ko yung crowd, sabi ko, Lord, kunin mo na sila. De, joke lang. Naku, baka sabihin na, ano ba naman itong babae? Pinadala pa yun dito. You know what? You can understand what I'm telling. If, later on, if you're gonna see the vision of Rest of Kabataan, of course, probably you've heard about it, but the story behind it was really painful. And you know naman, when you start a movement, there's always pain, struggles, and challenges. But it's up to you if it will make you or break you. Or if you will choose to stop and not to obey the vision, or you will choose to fight a good fight. Okay po? So, I'm Abigail Mesa, I'm 30 years old, and let me tell you, nakapanood po ba kayo ng MMK? Ay ba? Parang hindi po kayo masaya ba? Burden po ba? Kung hindi po kayo nakapanood, usually pag Holy Week, nire-replay po yung sa GMA 7. It's entitled Talikala sa Isang Higap. Si Glyza De Castro naman po yung gumanap. That's the same story. But of course, magkaiba ng plot, okay, magkaiba ng way, interpretation, pero same story. Nandun din po ako sa dulong part ng interview. Mukha pa akong bruha doon, no? So, tagal lang kasi yun. But kung meron kayong mga kaibigan na gusto nyong matulungan how to overcome certain things in life, especially, yung topic na ngayon is really connected, pwede ko sabihin, last, okay, LUST, hindi po last, so LUST. So, overcoming it and all the challenges in life, ask them to watch yung sa Lenten season po. So let me tell you what God has done in my life. So I'm a daughter of both missionary pastors. Buong clan po namin ay missionaries. Diba? So, alam ko talaga pag sinabing mahirap, hindi naman ako yung taong magsasabi na mahirap pero hindi kami mahirap. Mahirap po talaga yung life namin. What you've seen in MMK is really true. Natuwira po kami sa waiting shed. Okay? Because my father is a church planter. So, alam niyo naman po dati, di ba, ang buhay po ng mga pastor hindi balanse. Ministry over family. Okay, kung patay. Kasi nga po, yun nga yung mga dekada na talagang ang mga pastor is really fighting for the vision here in the Philippines. Yesterday, yan, may sisingit ko na naman po. Yesterday, I told the crowd na there is Rescue Kabataan now because there are people, there are pastors, leaders, older pastors, okay po, older leaders na nauna to invest for this nation. They already prayed it to happen before we reap it now. I always tell this to the young generation now. We need to love, respect, and listen our older pastors. These are the people who invested big time to this nation. Alam niyo po ako, ipaglalaban ko ng matindi lahat ng mga kapastoran. Kasi sila yung unang lumuhod eh. Nakinabang na lang po tayo ngayon. Sila talaga yung unang lumuhod. I really believe that whether you agree or not, wala naman po kayo just kasi hawak ko na yung mic. Diba po? So, these are the people who really fought for this nation. So, we need to give back. Serve, love them. Hindi yung tumanda rin gusto natin, hindi natin papansinin. My gosh, yung mga kabataan ngayon, ang tataas ng ego. Yan na, hindi ko na po mapigilan. Sabi ko sa inyo eh. Hindi, naggitara lang, nagdrums lang, yabang na. Kung late-late yung pastor, wagas. Bakit ikaw lumuhod ka kay Lord? You know, my heart really goes for these pastors. And every time I share my testimony, I cannot help myself but to really tell the people that we need to love our pastors. Especially, literally, old-age pastor. Kasi nga po, I give credits to them. Because these are the people who God used. Wala ka pa, Ning. Wala ka pa dyan, di ba? Nandyan na sila. Nanalangin na yan. So, bakit tayo magyayabang? Okay po? Tapos na po yung testimony ko kayo naman. So, tutuloy ko na po. So, I was the only one in our clan na naka-experience ng payslip. Because all of our family members are missionary pastors. Even my brother now. Diba? My mom is also a missionary up until now. So, what happened? Okay lang naman. Okay lang naman sa akin. Kasi dati po, ewan ko makaka-relate yung mga anak ng pastor. Diba? Dati, kapag anak ka ng pastor, proud ka kasi feeling mo superhero yung tatay mo. Ako lang po ba? Siguro may sayad po talaga ako lang pagkabata. Pero, yun po talaga tingin ko sa tatay ko, superhero, kasi pastor eh, kilala ng lahat, sikat, ganyan kahit mahirap kayo, wala kang makain, sikat, gano'n. I never knew Cinderella up until first year college. I never knew that there is Barbie doll up until second year college. But it's okay, kasi the only game that I wanted to do way back then was Bible teaching. Yun lang ang gusto ko, yun lang talaga. But everything changed when my father died when I was 12. He died inside the church gathering. Inside the church gathering. He preached, he prayed, and he did not open his eyes anymore. The cause of his death, aneurysm. Tatlong ugat niya yung pumutok sa utak, pero ang cause ng aneurysm niya is over-fatigue. That is why I made this covenant to the Lord. The Lord, hanggat binubuhay mo ako, I will really, what do you call this? Make a way. Okay? Help me to make a way to provide a certain foundation and organization that will take care of these old pastors. I wanted to do that. Aside from Resto Kabataan, I'm really planning to do that. Kasi parang hindi ko kaya na marinig na anong kinamatay ng pastor? Napagod. Diba? Anong dahilan? Ba't pumutok yung utak niya sa ugat? Ay, sa ano? Ano ba? Pumutok yung... Pwede po magkamali, diba? Pumutok yung ugat niya sa utak. Anong dahilan? Pagod. Kasi po dati, diba, ang pastor, siya taga-kanta, siya taga-gitara, mag-preach pa, siya pa yung mag-ayos ng silya, magwawalis pa, tas yung membro, diba, maya pastor, ganito, pastor, all-knowing yung pastor eh. Pag may sinaniban, lahat pastor, diba? Lahat po ganun. Diba, pastor, tama po ba ako? Diba? Pinagod natin eh. So dahil po doon, kaya sabi ko kahapon, bigyan niyo po ng house and lot yung mga pastor po natin, ha? Yung mga kitchen, bakit? Pwede po yun. And because of that, when I knew that the cause of my father's death is over-fatigue, I started to have this rage. I started to have this anger to all born-again Christians. I started to have rage to all born-again churches. Born again church lang po, hindi ko dadami Katoliko, INC, ganyan. Born again church lang. Doon lang ako galit. Okay. Then I started, of course, I have this big rage kay Lord. Okay? Because for me, pinatay niya yung tatay ko. Tapos para sa akin, pinatay din ng born again Christians ang tatay ko. Kasi kung hindi naman napagod yung papa ko, dapat buhay pa siya. At lalo pa ako nagalit when my mom decided to continue the mission. Sabi ko, baliw ba to? Bakit mo pipiliin ng Diyos? At iiwan ako, magmimisyon ka, alam mo namang ang Diyos ang pumatay sa tatay ko. Tapos yung kuya ko, ang bait, tuloy lang siya sa path niya. So parang ang feeling ko, ano yun, yung nanay ko, tsaka kuya ko, ang bait, ako masama. Kasi dapat galit sila eh. Bakit ako lang yung galit? So doon nagsimula po ang lahat. And my mom went to Thailand, then I entered theater. Nag-teatro ako for 15 years. At the age of 12, I started to earn money. Kasi nag-teatro nga po ako. And because of that, at the age of 12, I started to be involved in pornography. I was so addicted with pornography from 12 to 23. It doesn't end there. At the age of 16, I started to smoke and to drink and become a party animal. At the age of 16, I started to have sexual relationships with men and women. I was a bisexual. Then I became a mistress also at the age of 16. I was a mistress for 17 years. 17 years, ang mo naman. Okay, for 7 years. I was a mistress for 7 years. At the age of 16, I started to use illegal substances. I started with rugby. Ako kachipan. I started with rugby, ending up with the most expensive kinds of drugs. Injectables and capsulated. Then I thought I was coming back to the Lord when I became a victim of gang rape when I was 19. 3 men changed my life big time. Of course, I wanted to fight, but I lost. May natalo po ako sa kaso. And in fact, when I reached out for help, even this one person even told me, alam mo, sino maniniwala sa'yo, mukha ka ng pokpok. Because of that, naging palaboy ako for 6 months. What we have seen in MMK is really true. Because no one wants to be with me anymore. So I started to live on the streets. I even live sa mga garbage dump sites. Because no one wants to be with me. Every time I remember that moment in my life, and every time I see now what God has done and what God has been doing, pwede naman po nakarating ako ng Bacolod, di ba? Pero palaboy. Diba nakita niyo po ako dyan, pero kuskusin, di ba po? Yung laban po, ganyan. Pwede naman po ako nakarating dito. But every time I see myself now in the mirror, every time I remember those 6 months, I would always think, grabe, pwede naman palaboy ka hanggang ngayon eh. Pwede naman, literally po, nangangalkal ako ng pagkain sa labas ng Jollibee, literal. Lahat ng feeding program ng simbahan, pinilahan ko. Nagbibigay ng mga lugaw sa labas, lahat yan pinilahan ko. Who would ever thought, right? Who would ever thought na palaboy na yun, makakarating pa, kung sasalita ng mga kumano-ano? Di ba po? Pero sobrang yabang ko, during that time, sobrang wala akong pakialam, pride, may ego, galit na galit ako sa Diyos at sa lahat ng Kristyano. The enemy came to deceive me and told me, alam mo, marumi ka na, ituloy mo na lang. At the age of 19, I entered escort service. I was a prostitute for 4 years. Believe it or not, nakagraduate pa po ako. Diba? Saan lupalot ng mundo nang galing yun? I was a graduate of BSc Speech and Theater Arts, Education, from Philippine Normal University. And because I cannot separate my teaching career to my escort service career, at the age of 21, I had 7 criminal cases. 7 kaso na halos ikabaliw ko. That's the reason I committed suicide for 3 times. What gives you the name na bali ko, Chino? Totoo po yun. Totoo po yun. That was my second attempt. My first attempt is drinking Bible. Siyempre po, hindi pwede spray, ha? Ang tagal naman po nun. And my last attempt was in Ross Boulevard, where Chairperson Isaac Stigera had a short film about me. Doon niya ako siya kung saan yung examination of suicide. In Ross Boulevard. Yung eksena po doon na sobrang galit ako kay Lord, it's really true. Nung nag-suicide ako sa Ross Boulevard, tapos sobrang galit ako kasi akala ko pag-ising ko patay na ako. Yung pala pag-ising ko nakadetain ako, may kaso pa ako. Di ba? Hindi ka na namatay, may kaso ka pa. Kaya sobrang galit na galit ako kay Lord. Yung linya niya, it's really true. Na parang, ano ba talaga, ayaw mo ba akong patayin? Gusto ko nang mamatay, pero ayaw mo akong patayin. Buti na lang po, hindi nakinig si Lord. Buti na lang. I committed suicide for 3 times, and every time uuwi yung mama ko din sa Pilipinas, I would try to kill my mom. Hindi na po pinakita yun doon. I would try to kill my mom. I would go to her house kasi magkakaiba kami ng bahay. I would go to her house, nagtago po ako eh, hindi nila ako nakikita talaga. I would just go to Laguna, I would try to kill her. Paano po? Sinasabuyan ko siya ng gas. At magsisindi ako. Kung makatakas ka, good. Kung hindi, sorry. Wala po ba? Ngayon po ako eh. I would kick my mom on her chest. I would kick her on her face. Because I just wanted her to die. Because for me, how could she choose God over me? I would go to my brother's house. During that time, pastor na siya. I would go to my brother's house. I would kill him. I would try to kill him. Ginagawa ko siyang dartboard. Kung hindi siya makaiwas sa kutsilyo, sorry, kung makaiwas siya, good. I would never stop kasi makapal yung buhok ng kuya ko. I would never stop banging him on the wall hanggat di ko nakikitang duguan siya. But my family stood with me. I have this challenge for all the youth now. For all daughters and sons. I mean, lahat naman tayo, wala naman po dito siguro pumatok lang sa pulkan po, di ba? When was the last time you said sorry? Thank you and you love with your parents. Probably you've heard it. But honestly, maybe I just wanted to remind all of us, especially the younger generation. When was the last time you embraced your parents? Grabe ka sa jowa mo, kapag lambing ka sa magulang mo, bastos ka. Pagdating mo sa church, active ka, pero sa nanay mo, sagot-sagutin mo, wagas. Sa church, ang active mo, pero sa tatay mo, bastos ka. I mean, we cannot fake Christianity. I am pleading to this generation, let's love our parents. Huwag mo kong gayahin. Mang-mang nga eh, kagayahin mo pa. I mean, I challenge all of you, yung mga anak dito talaga. Pag-uwi mo ngayon, grabe. You need to ask forgiveness to our parents. Ask. Kung gusto mo lumuhod ka, okay lang ako. Lumuhod ako sa nanay ko. Lumuhod ako sa kuya ko. What's wrong? Ask blessing. Alam niyo po ba ako? I always ask blessing from my mom. I kneel down. Kasi bira na kami magkita eh. I kneel down. Mama, sabi ko, bless me. Kahit na ganito na po ang estado ko ngayon sa life ko, I kneel down. Kasi sabi ko, Mama, bless me. Before I went here, kasi nagkita kami, tagal namin hindi nagkita, before I made a decision, a certain decision, last week, sabi ko, Mama, I will not make this decision unless you bless me. OA po ako ngayon. Sobra ako ngayon sa nanay ko at saka sa kuya ko. But I challenge, especially yung mga kaedad ko dito, yung mas younger pa sa akin, uy, pag uwi nyo, grabe, lambingin nyo yung mga magulang nyo. Lambingin nyo, huwag sa church magaling. Anin mo yung galing mo sa church. Kung sa bahay, parumbado ka. Anin mo, life group leader ka, dahil mo dinidisciple, magulang mo, hindi mo alagaan. Wala mong kwenta. Masaktan ka, wala ka naman choice eh. But you need to serve our parents. Wake up, young people. My testimony, I give credit. This testimony, I give credit to my dad and to my mom. I give credit to older generation. This is not all about me. It's all about them who invested to my life. There are people invested to your life. There are people who really invested to your life. Give back. Now, hindi ko nakita na pwede kong paghugutan ng lakas yung nanay at sa kuya ko. So I keep on doing that. Up until my turning point happened when I was 23. This time, during that time, my mom was in Thailand. She went back. Exactly that night, my mom prayed. Kasi hindi na po talaga niya kaya lahat ng mga pinagkagawa ko sa buhay. She prayed, Lord, kung hindi mo napapakinabangan at ng bansang Pilipinas si Abigail, kunin mo na siya. Kaya mag-ingat ka. Baka yung nanay mo nananalangin na. Mag-ingat ka. Ang panalangin at ang iiyak ng nanay, sobrang pinapahalaga ng Diyos. Kaya nga ako, takot ako sa nanay ko eh. Sinasabi ko, Mano, pinagpipray mo? Ginagano ko nanay ko eh. Mano, pinagpipray mo specific? Sabi mo, kwento ko sa akin. Mamaya, natakot ako, pinagpipray niya ako kung ano-ano eh. Exactly that night, I was found inside my apartment in Ermita. Kulay talong. Overdose with sex and drugs. Lahat ng tao sa paligid ko, walang maniniwalang mabubuhay ako. That moment, I thought when I die, I would go to heaven. Because I'm a daughter of a pastor. Because I go to the church. Lahat ng ginawa, during the time na ginagawa ko lahat ng kalokohan ko, from 12 to 23, I was never been absent inside the church. Maliban na lang nung naging palawi ako. In fact, I was so active in the ministry. And in fact, I do discipleship. Tanungin niyo lahat ng katropa kong anak ng pastor, tanungin niyo lahat ng simbahang pinuntahan ko, they were so shocked to know that I was living a double, triple, quadruple life. That is why it's not because you are inside the church you have the heart of God. It's very much easy to fake that outside you're smiling but deep inside you're dying. It's very much easy to fake that outside you're okay but deep inside you're not. And it's very much easy to fake, to hide immoralities, impurities, sin inside the ministry. This stage is a perfect place to hide. And mind me, you will never want to reap all the consequences later on. Madaling magtago sa loob ng simbahan. Kasi nga, church is a place for sinners, right? Ang problema, marami sa atin, katulad ko, na tagal ng Kristiyano, tinago ng tinago, ang nakikita ng tao yung facade. Pero sino kapag nakita ka na lang? It's very much easy to fake that your family is okay, smiling, going to church together. But when you go back home, walang nakikipag-usap sa isa't isa. The family's relationship is broken. It's very much easy to fake. In my case, I faked it for 11 solid years. So I thought when I die, I would go to heaven. But that moment changed me big, big time. When the Lord allowed me to see a vision of myself, not in heaven, but in hell. Ito po yung hindi kaya i-portray ng GMA at saka ABS. Kaya nga magkaiba sila ng version. Hindi po totoo nagpakita yung tatay ko. Walang ganon. Diba? Pero syempre, hindi kaya for media purposes. Diba? For symbolism purposes. The Lord allowed me to see a vision of myself in hell. Every time people would ask me what I remember during my deathbed, I only say this. Wala akong ibang naalala kundi ito. I was shouting out loud to the Lord. And I said, Lord, one last chance. One last chance. Ibalik mo lang yung buhay ko, promise ko sa'yo pagsasawalan mo ito hanggang pagtanda. After 4 hours to 6 hours, the Lord brought back my life. 1 month akong kulay talong, recovering. 1 month akong hindi makapagsalita, total. They entered me into rehabilitation for 2 years. And after that, I was ready to share my testimony, my story. My GMA It started with 2014 and then ginawan na short with 2015, 2016, and so on. But I had this question in my mind. Lord, ano ngayon kung sinishare ko yung story? So ano, naiyak sila tapos na. Is that my purpose in life? Is that the impact that you wanted me to leave to this generation and for this nation? Ano yun, Lord, binuhay mo kasi yun lang. Pagkwentuhin ko, ano yun, ayoko na ganun lang, Lord. That's the reason why the Lord gave the vision of Resto Patay when 2015 came. My purpose is not only to share what God has done in my life, but to showcase that the Lord can make a great miracle out of that great devastating moment. May resulta. Yun ang challenge. Yung life natin, yung past natin, yung ginawang pag-rescue sa atin ni Lord, there must be a great result. Sabi ko, and now I'm not only talking about my past, but I will share that the past resulted. God just made a way, Pwede may RK pero hindi po ako. Of course, may RK kahit wala ako. But God just made a way to make it happen. 3 things as I end. What God has done in my life, I have learned 3 things. Number 1, everyone has a story to tell. Your story is different from my story. Maaaring mas matindi po yung nangyari sa inyo. Maaaring hindi naman ganun katindi or hindi tayo magka-level ng story. It doesn't matter. Everyone has a story to tell. I always tell this to the younger generation. You don't need to have that kind of testimony and story for you to be a rescuer of this generation. Every time people would ask me, pagbabalik ka doon sa ginawa mo sa life mo, would you do the same thing? Sabi ko, hindi. Di ba may mga speakers sasabihin nila, oo, kasi doon ako natuto. I believe kahit na hindi ko yung gawin, if God wants me to be the founder of Rescue Bataan, He will still choose me. I don't want to do the same things that I've done. Why? Hindi naman masaya ma-rape eh. Hindi masaya maging prostitute, hindi masaya maging addict, ang higit sa lahat, hindi masaya ma-overdose, ma-hospital, maging nasa deathbed, pumatay ng nanay sa kuya, hindi masaya. I will never do the same things. And I've delayed myself many, many years. Everyone is story to tell. Number 2, that your story is important to God. Many times before, I wish I had a different story to tell. I wish anak ako ng ganito. I wish ganito na lang ako. Sana si ano lang ako. But I didn't accept that my story is important to God. I never accepted it. So the Lord gave His answer because I cannot accept that my story is important to God. So He gave me His third answer when I was in my deathbed. Third, that Jesus is about to change your story. Jesus is about to change my story. Hindi mo gusto yung story ng buhay mo ngayon, hindi ko din gusto yung story ng buhay ko dati, but He made a way to change my story. One thing I've learned, and I've shared yesterday, this proof, Resto Kabataan and what God has done in my life, is a living testimony that when God wants to do an impossible task, He chooses an impossible man, crushes him or her to do that impossible task. I have a specific task here on earth. And I believe that what God has done in my life is enough for me to give back all the glory and honor to Him. Who would ever thought that a former prostitute like me would still be the founder of Resto Kabataan? Who would ever thought that a drug dependent like me would still be used to represent our nation, chosen by our President Duterte to go to the United Nations? Who would ever thought? Who would ever thought na isang katulad kong palaboy ay gagamitin pa pala ni Lord to impact somehow even 1% for this generation? I really pray that this testimony will not limit sa age range lang namin. If God has rescued me, and if God has used someone like me, age doesn't matter in giving impact for this generation. The more we age, the more stories we can give. The more we age, the more impact we can give. So I encourage especially the older ones, the young professionals, the parents, we should be the first rescuer for this generation. We should be the first rescuer to the next generation. We should be the first frontliner for this nation. We should be. Shall we all pray? Lord, we thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to share what you have done. Again, Lord, keep us grounded, keep us humble in your presence, and may we find joy, happiness, and contentment under your wings. Lord, we pray that as Pastor Oliver also speaks, may you continue to anoint him and give him the courage to share your word and share whatever you wanted to share to this congregation. This is all about you, Father. We give back all the glory and honor to you in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, so encourage. It's really a reminder, that no matter where you are, no matter what you did in the past, kung ano man ang kaituan, nakadalma, nakatuan mo, there is no impossibility in the Lord. Imo niya ng message to a message. And amo na ka namin that no matter kung ano man natapos sa imo in the past, and no matter what you did, no matter what you've become, He will use you. And since in the morning, I believe that you're here because you want to receive the word of the Lord. And nasadyan ko because while Pastor Dave was actually kind of distributing pala messages sa amo, and medyo ginakulbaan ako na itong hood. Medyo controversial, usually ginhatag sa ako ba na. Kung pas nga ako naman ipas ka. Nga ako, may hindi ikaw. And kasadya because I believe that the enemy, if there's one thing ang enemy gusto yung ipaon sa aton, ang gusto himuon sa aton, I mean, is to focus on ourselves. You notice how social media are going on right now. Di ba? Notice yung kung paano ang social media ginatago ta sa social media into a sense of being selfish. So we put messages, we put posts, I mean, nga kabaluta para damo likes, pictures, mayo, damo ato nga picturean. Pero ang isa nga ito i-post are those nga namikwa ta. And then from time to time, we check the number of likes. Ano ba mo na? Kaya nga mo na ba? Diba? Very good. No, and in this series, we're going to talk about put on and put off. What are the things that we need to put on and what are the things that we need to put off? So, and this month, atong suryan, the things that we need to put off. No, kung makutod ka mo, nga kinahanglan, why is there a need to put off and to put on? Why is there a need to put off and to put on? Simply, you put on things you know you need. Diba? You put only things na kabalo ka kinahanglan mo. At the same time, you put off things that you don't need. Check to? It makes sense man ko. Like for example, mata ko example, and you tell me if you have to put it on, if put on siya or put off. Okay? You tell me ha. Example, perfume. Put on. Very good. Si Butibitupan mo, put on mo ng perfume. But deodorant. Ha? Put on. Sigurado? Okay, hindi na mapapasimot sa tupan nyo. How about used socks? Nagamit ng medyas. Put off. Ang saga. Diba, may alaga mo na? Diba? How about toxic relationships? Good. Mga paasa. Kabigaan. Hinog yaw tayo. How about, last week, Pastor Target talk about temptation. Put on or put off? How about the past? Put on! How about the Word of God? Put on, di ba? And, kadamo, so i-put on and put off. And ako rin siyang series all about, no? And right now, I'll be talking about I believe one of the most controversial, and at the same time, when we talk about this, kahipos na tayo. Because dapat gurusuriyan na siya sa small group na. We should not talk about it in the congregation. And the enemy actually is, nasadya na siya, hindi na mastoryahan, ng isa sa kasimbahan when we talk about this. No? And later on, we'll go through with that. No? And I believe, in this year, ano yung year na subong? Rooted in Christ. And I believe, no, before we get rooted in Christ, there's so many things that we need to put off. Kapati ka mo na. And there's so many things that we need to put on. Right? And, kapati, go naman sa Acts 2, it says here, I've been hearing testimonies after testimonies, of God's wonderful transformation of people, and I've been hearing, mga damgo, mga tao, and I'm ako, Lord, what is going on right now? And He reminded me just yesterday about this. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my Spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. And your old men will dream dreams. Do you believe that we are right now in the last days? And si Lord is so being real sa aton, that He is actually pouring out His Spirit on all His people. So you see, this is what the Lord wants. Ang muni gusto ni Lord sa aton subong, matabusin nga simbahan, that every one of us will receive His Spirit. So that everyone will be in the movement. And ang Ginoo, ang muni subong nakatabo, the Lord is in the movement. The Lord is moving right now in this church. I don't know with you, or with my life, or with everyone that I'm seeing, I am seeing the movement of the Lord. And just one question, Lord, are you willing to be in this movement? Are you willing to be part of this movement? Because you can back out, you can go back to what you're doing, to your own life, and just like that, hindi victorious ka buhay mo. But in the Lord, you can be in this movement and be victorious. And this Sunday, again, as what I've said, we will tackle, I believe, one of the things na kailangan tagidya, storyahan sa church. January, I went to Manila, And nag-attend ko IDC. And one of the topics na shocked ko because around 10,000 people ang congregation. And Pastor Josh was talking about simple again, pornography. Pornography. No, ang sabi, ang gina nung kadamo di mga tatay at nanay na and few na lang ang mga youth sa ininga service. So, but I believe no, ang ininga topic makabuligid sa aton on how we can teach the youth, how we can be of support sa mga youth, paano mabuligan ng mga youth, and at the same time how kita man as old people be, no, paano ta makaprotekta sa aton mga marriages, no. So we'll be talking about how to overcome lust, overcoming lust. In 1 Corinthians 6:20, it says here, I have the right to do anything, no? Coming from free, telling the Lord, no? I can do anything I want, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. You say, food for the stomach and the stomach for food, and God will destroy them both. The body, however, is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord. And the Lord for the body. By His power, God raised the Lord from the dead, and He will also raise us also. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ Himself? Shall I then take the members of Christ and unite them with a prostitute? Never. Do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said that two will become one flesh, but whoever is united with the Lord is one with Him in spirit. Flee from sexual immorality for the Lord and for the Lord. Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own, you were bought at a price, therefore honor God with your bodies. So right now, we'll talk about overcoming lust. This is the heart of the Lord, that we will overcome lust. No, because hipsat naman, every one of us may have encountered na nag-struggle ta sa lust. Nag-struggle ta with sexual immorality. And later on, I will talk about statistics naman, even in church, kung kailan naka-percent and all. But first, one question, what is lust? Ano yan ang lust? Maybe you have encountered that in the past, pero we're gonna define that. What is lust? Lust is a very strong sexual desire, a passionate and desire for something, a sensual appetite regarded as sinful. That is something that is out of the will of the Lord. No, it could be lust for money, it could be lust for other things. And right now, we're going to talk about the last aspect of sexual immorality. The Bible talk about different lust, that's what I've said. Lust is hasty action that lives out momentary pleasure without the thought of what's ahead. Meaning ang lust ko, no, is a momentary pleasure. No, dalian lang siya nga pleasure, masadyahan ka lang sa subong, for next time, hindi na. Yet without you thinking of the consequences sa future matabo. No, gamay-gamay lang siya nga porn, gamay-gamay lang siya nga adultery, gamay-gamay lang chat-chat and all. No? Pero later on, ibot ka lang that you are already in a cycle of sin. Joshua Harris says that to lust is to want what you don't have and weren't meant to have. Lust goes beyond attraction and appreciation of beauty, or even a healthy desire for sex. It makes these desires more important than God. Lust wants to go outside God's guidelines to find satisfaction. Gusto ko lang i-highlight, it makes desires more important than the one who made us, God. So this is lust. It is outside God's guidelines to find satisfaction. So this is a hard topic, as what I've said, no? And right now, we're gonna go to statistics naman. Now, what is going on in this world? No, maybe because you're not aware of it. Iba siya, ikaw ya, buot-buot kami nga tao, or ikaw medyo aware ka because you're doing this. I don't know, but we're gonna have statistics of sexual immorality that is happening around the world. No, because we don't want hindi na gusto nga kita diri maging ignorant ta. Ignorant, kita ba naman ba? Alam ba lang nga, ay okay lang kuya, itinlok man kuya. Okay lang kuya, kay amo lang ako kaamo na iya. Sila na iya. No? And kita diya sa discipleship church, kita diya disciple people, and we cannot, hindi ta pwedeng nga ipahigat na siya because there are people undergoing all this. And we cannot remain ignorant, we cannot remain apathetic na way talabo. Okay? Lust is a sin that goes back to our deepest need and desire, which is love. Is the total opposite of lust, that is love. No? The Lord, for example, we say sex, no? Because di pa ako married. But, no, sa Bible, no, in the context of the Lord, no, sex is for marriage. Amo na kasimple, no? Gaba si Lord, pa-enjoy mo ni siya in the guideline of marriage mismo. Within the marriage. Pero outside that, that is not mine already. And ang enemy, pinapangan niya itong utok, pinapangan ang minds niya, that pwede pa man kaliya mo man ang yapon ng pakatuan, mo na ng subong. Total pakadto ka man na Japon. No, gusto sa enemy nga maging impatient na. Gusto sa enemy nga hindi na maghulat sa right time kay Lord. And that is why you're involved with so many wrong relationships. And because feeling mo masatisfy ka, feeling mo makontento ka, and later on, it broke your heart, and from time to time, again and again, relationship to another relationship. No? Lust is a distortion of the highest good and purpose of life, which is love. Okay? So let's go to statistics. Are you ready? Kasi makibot ka mo nyo. Okay, pornography statistics. Let's go. First, in every second, take note of this, in every second, 2,500 porn videos are uploaded. In every second. Naka 1 hour na ta, so that's 1 minute, 60 seconds times 60 again. Hindi ko good sa math. Pero, hindi ko times po siya sa 2,500. So imagine, parents, gusto ko i-imagine sa inyo, no? What can pornography do to your child? Kapag nag-grabe, subong ang access sa internet, no? Gamay-gamay lang ang pop-up. If your child, no? If wala siya may nang makaamda yan, napindutan nilang na yan. Later on, naging curious siya. Later on, naging bandage siya sa iyo. No? 28,258 users watch porn. I think that is every minute, I think. Next, we have, in 2016, 92 billion porn videos were viewed by just one site. Sabi no, isa lang siya ka-site, isa ka-porn site. In 2016, 92 billion porn videos were viewed, meaning gitanaw isang tao. Just one site. Okay? In 2017, 82 million porn videos were viewed, take note of this, by kids. 2017, just last year. 82 million porn videos were viewed by kids by just 2017, just last year. And 8 years old is the average of kid who views pornography for the first time. 8 years old. Ang muna siya average, meaning sabi mas pangod pa na ikuha ng average. 90% of children between ages 8 to 16 years old viewed pornography already. 90% of children between 8 to 16 nakawatch na sa pornography. Pornography, any material that contains sexual mga pamutaw. And next na yun, pornography, Filipinos, 43.1 men and 28.7 women have read pornographic materials already. And I have here also statistics naman siya, no, sa Christians, no, in a Christian setting, in a church, what's happening, no? It says here, 77% Christian men seek out porn. 77%. And 56% women seek out porn. In church, remember. Youth pornography, First, teenagers with frequent exposure to sexual content on TV have a substantially greater likelihood of teenage pregnancy, and the likelihood of teen pregnancy was twice as high when the quantity of sexual content exposure within the viewing episodes was high. Again, teenage, na permi katanaw, mga sexual contents on TV lang, just on TV, have a substantially greater likelihood of teenage pregnancy. Okay? Next, pornography viewing by teens disorients them during the developmental phase when they have to learn how to handle their sexuality and when they are most vulnerable to uncertainty about their sexual beliefs and moral values. Pornography disorients the youth sa nag-develop para sila sa ilang mga values in life. And kita, diri, parents, if hindi na sila pagtudluan, kita nga disciples, if hindi na sila pagtudluan, sino matudlog, the internet will actually teach them. Next, a significant relationship also exists among teens between frequent pornography use and feelings of loneliness, including major depressions. Gabi ko nung link dira. Okay? Next, we have family and marital pornography. Wabi mong sa youth lang yung pornography, no? Even families are affected with it. 47% of families have problems with pornography. Okay? And pornography use increases the marital infidelity rate by more than 300%. Times 3 infidelity rate. No? So, you see, sexual immorality, just one aspect, this is just pornography. For pornography, palang it destroys marriages, it destroys relationships, it destroys our children. And sometimes, amo na itong ginahipsan. Amo na itong ginahipusan, no? When we talk about lust, when we talk about how to overcome it, dapat closed doors na siya, dapat nakita lang, dapat wala may makapatid sila. No? Pero dapat, it's high time that we as church, we should do something about this. And this is not to condemn anyone nga muna struggle, because later on, we will later, as church, we will tackle on how we can overcome this. So what does lust do? Ano ginimo sa lust? Ayan. First, it thirsts for more. Ang lust, ang sexual immorality, it thirsts for more. Damo siya may ginagusto sa aton. No? Meaning sila from one point to another, from one sin to another, just one pornography, and yet you want more in your life. If you are involved in relationships, and then later on, nagka-pregnancy na dayo, and later on, broken marriages. You see the pattern of the enemy. Ang maring gusto sa enemy, nga himuon sa aton. Lust leads to sin. Sin breaks our relationships with God. We become numb to lust impact. So we think we can lust even more. That is the very nature of lust. It is unquenchable. Thirst for more, and you will never be satisfied. Second, it destroys relationship. As you can see, I've been hearing testimonies of the people ng kastoryahan ko man. And one thing I realized ko, nga permi nila ginahambal are about their parents, from being broken, mga balaw. And mostly ang ginahambal mga third party, balaw. And ang ako, Lord, di niya yan halin, balaw. Di niya yan halin ang mga thought of this, balaw. Ngayon ka kapangita iban. Ngayon niya yan satisfied with their husbands, with their wives. Because ang siya, the primary goal of the lust is to destroy relationship. He wants you not to be satisfied. Okay, next, it disregards God. Inapahiga din yung Ginoo. It disregards God. Last is sexual desire that is not regulated and or governed or guided by a supreme regard for God. God created sexuality. We believe all. Ang Ginoo, ginimo yung sexuality. He created it good and beautiful. He created for the good of His creatures. He alone has the wisdom and the right to show us how to use it for His glory. And it is within marriage. Within marriage. And yet the enemy, the lust, is what that sexual desire becomes when we give it reign and in disregard for God. So, pamangkot natin, Pastor Oliver is their hope, no? With all the statistics that is nag-present mo, with all the things na natabo in this world about lust, about immorality. Maybe you're asking me, Pastor Oliver is their hope. May I have hope? No, I tell you, yes, there is hope. No, there is this one quote that says, no wound is so deep as to be out of reach of the Christ's redeeming grace. Wala ko no sa pilas, wala sa masakit nga hindi pwede no matandugan sa Ginoo. No matter how dark it is, no matter how dirty it is, no matter how you silent you are sometimes, no matter how nga ginatago mo na siya, I tell you, with God's redeeming grace, you can be reached out. No, so how to overcome lust? Paano tayo ma-overcome ang sexual immorality? No, as Christians, as church, how can we overcome this? Simple lang dalagan. You run. Run. Okay? In 2 Timothy 2 verse 22, so flee youthful passions and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace along with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart. Run. First, run is run from. No? About this sa first part, so flee youthful passions. When we say passions, it refers to our cravings, to our desires, our longings. Kaya kabalo ka man, misplaced na siya. Kaya hindi yan Ginoo. Okay? And more specifically, youthful, yung mga passion. No? Ultimately, these passions are forms of idolatry. No? Ang primary purpose sa lust, no? It is to take away the presence of the Lord from your life. So that you will not have an idea of what real love is. Again, the primary purpose of lust is to take you away from the presence of the Lord so that you will not have any idea of what real love is. So we must run from these things. No, every Christian, even though kung gawak ka na lawi ka na bago ka lang din, no, we should run from this. First, I might mean mentally, gagalagan ka in your mind, no, bouncing our thoughts away from lustful imaginations. No? Second, pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace. Muna ba ni Lord? It is not enough to flee from youthful lust. We must run toward a new passion. Okay? We are to pursue that is eagerly and swiftly run toward Christ-likeness. Christ promises His people a heart of first righteousness. When we say righteousness, it is a passion for justice and a life pleasing to God. Ang kabuhi na pleasing it sa iya. Second, faith. No? Pursue faith. It is a strong and welcome conviction and trust in God. Ang pagsalig sa Ginoo. Third, pursue love, which is real love. It is an affection toward God and others. And lastly, Lord, pursue peace. It means tranquility in the heart and harmony with God and others. So we are to run towards all this. No? And just one quote ni Haboy Mano sa ato din, would you rather build a fence at the top of a cliff or park an ambulance at the bottom? No, we have always a choice. No? Would you rather build a fence at the top of a cliff for you to be protected, for your family to be protected, for your kids to be protected, or mas piliin mo na lang na mapark na lang ambulance itungod anytime pwede siya mahulog. But you see, there is always a solution. No? And it's our choice. No, as parents, I hope we will be building fences. No, one I've learned from Pastor Josh when I went to the conference, no, kaya the things ko na ginahimo, yung siya grandkids, yun siya may mga grandkids na, wala. Okay, sa mga lolo, lola na. And even mothers, no. Abalya, practical mo, no, one of the practical things na ginahimo yan, di ba, pornography yan ito, no, is accessible at any time. Meaning na, at a point sa inyong kabuhay sa bata nyo, if not well-taught sila, if wala na sila tudluan, makakatog sila sa dira, or makapack up na sila sa dira. No? So what he did, every time, like mayroon sila computers, iyang rules, iyang kabataan is never to bring computers or laptops inside their bedrooms. So dapat kuno any gadget hindi pagpasulod sa bedroom. No, and kaya siya gibutang lang, iya lang own practical way. Mahibutang siya kuno nga do basket outside the room sa iyang kabataan. Nga dira na kuno ihulog nila ila gadgets. And when they need it, they magwa lang sila and then use it. Pero when they go inside the room, they have to drop the phones sa nakabas. Kasi simple no, pero ang kayang point ni Pastor Josh, he wants to protect his family. Because at any point, ang enemy yan, mag-grab hold kid sa utok sa mga kabataan. No? So we will build a fence. We would rather build a fence than just park an ambulance sa bot. Okay, tungod, lala na siyang butang. Okay, third, this is what we should practice as a church run with. Nabutang to sa verse, along with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart. The Lord really finds delight in accountability. Namayangin si Lord that you have an accountability group. Who among you here is part of an accountability or a life group? But everyone is part of a life group. And ang bali ni Lord, run with them. Run with them so that you can overcome lust. Along with those who call on the Lord. It is so specific about the Lord. You can only run with people if only they are calling upon me. If they call on the Lord from pure heart. These friends should be those who call on the Lord. Simply, And we must not only run from lust and towards God's vision for our lives, we must also run with our brothers and sisters with the same vision of overcoming them. We must all find companions for this stretch of road. Kabalong abudabudlay siya sometimes sa mga youth and even to families. But we must find companions sa kundi makashare ta, makaprayhan ta, and maging accountable ta. And for parents, it is really important because ato ni siya job to protect our kids from all this. So it is easier, it is easier to build strong children than repair broken men. Mas kung papilion ka, ano na lang imuon mo? To repair or to build? It's easier to build strong children. So sa bata pa lang sila, sa mga parents really educate them with really the word of the Lord. What is sexuality from the Lord's aspect? Even sa bata pa lang sila. And for the rest, find an accountability partner. It is really important that every one of us, we have accountability partner in this struggle na ginaagyan. And as I end, kabalo ko, every one of us, we have our daily struggles in life. We have, may ginaagyan kita. And this verse speaks highly of what the Lord wants us to do in our lives. In Galatians 5:16-17, it says here, so I say, walk by the Spirit and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the flesh desires what is contrary to the Spirit, and the Spirit what is contrary to the flesh. They are in conflict with each other, so that you are not to do whatever you want. Si Lord, gusto niya kitaya. The Lord wants to lavish His love. The Lord wants to give out His plans, His purposes sa ating mga kabuhay. And sometimes what separates us, most of the time, what separates us from the Lord is sexual immorality. Or the things that we desire in our flesh that is out from the will of the Lord. And gusto ni Lord, ang gusto mo, nasa ako ni Lord subok this morning that He wants us to reconnect with Him. So this is not a condemnation, but this is a restoration. This is a word of restoration that yes, there is hope. Hindi pwede, kung abi mo nga dugay na mamamo ni kabuhin ko with sexual immorality. I can see this sa akong parents. I can see this with my family. I can see this with around my friends. And grabe, subong ang generation subong. And I've been hearing many stories of teens. I can hear stories of people, mga estudyante, and normal na lang sila to actually talk about, immorality. And one time I've been talking to a kid, And grabe yung struggle of this. And makot ko siya, anong nakatabo sa life mo. And nabalya, it's normal ko nung sila school to actually receive nudes from kapwa students nila. Grabe, no? Grabe subong ang generation. Grabe subong ang ginahimo sa enemy pala. Na gusto niya tupon ang ining generation. So, mga no, this is a call for every one of us to stand against this. To stand against this. It's high time that we put light on these topics. It's high time that we put light on sexual immorality because it is happening everywhere. No, kung padiin ka man, isa ka pa sa cafeteria or din na food court, and everyone's talking about it. Just one time, nagkatlo ko sa SM, kids, high school sila, and they're talking about ang lawas ng ilang classmate. Nasubo, no? And kasasadyahan sila. And I've been reading posts one time, ako nung Mesa, ako nung mother, and may kungkok na mga teenagers sa tubang yan, and they're laughing about her, and they're talking about nga, kaya mo na siya do this, do that. Ang grabe, nakatwisted ang mind, subok sa mga people. And the enemy is actually playing with this because we are silent about this. Because we're not talking about this. Because para sa ato, ito ka dapat sa sekreto ba na siya storyahan. And it is in my heart, it is in my heart after hearing many stories of people, broken families, broken marriages, and even from my disciples. And ako, Lord, grabe, hindi ang matabo sa sexual immorality. Just one point to another, and later on, kibot na siya, guba na tanan. And maybe ikaw makawala ka ng subong, or ikaw, you know that you are this. No, we are not far from this. Di na tiluanay. Pagagay ni sabi no, the church is a place for sinners. And kanabi kay Lord, because we cannot remain, ni Lord, yes, this is a place for sinners. Pero promise ni Lord that we will not remain as a sinner. Hindi kayo mag-remain, kaya mo na imo ginahimo. Hindi kayo mag-remain, kaya mo na imo yapon struggle sa kabuhi. Hindi pwede nga masugot ka lang, na okay na lang, mag-aamo ka na. But there should come a point in your life na dapat matakkan ka na. Matakkan ka na sa sulit-sulit na sala. Matakkan ka na makita mo siya at any part, and it's as if normal na lang siya. And mo na siya kinakasubo sa akong heart because it's as if normal na siya. No, sa gym, isa sa digin ka na makadto, people are talking about immorality as if it's something good. Nasadyahan sila. And it's breaking my heart because no one's talking about the love of the Lord. No one's talking about the stand of the Lord against this. And one story, nga grabe, yun nga ako, nga impact sa Bible. No? I believe this generation needs the word of the Lord, hindi nga maplastar sa ilaban. And one story, the story of an adulterous woman, I believe, familiar ka mo na, There's one time that the Lord, Jesus, siya sa crowd, and he was talking to a lot of people. And about ang Pharisees, tapos si Lord ko, kasi sulat sa sun. So, sino kung makadlo ka mo sa mga baybay, kasi sulat ka mo. Usually ka mo tayo, ngalan nyo than the heart. Bilang yun. Makarelate ka mo kay Jesus. Jesus that time, kasi sulat siya ko sa sun. And kasadya, because as I was reading, wala kita specify, ano ko sulat niya to? Because sulat niya siya. And there came, and then din among Pharisees, they were talking about, and they're telling Jesus, we have here an adulterous woman. Makasasala siya. Diba, bal nyo, kung makasasala siya, abuyan na siya bato. Diba, kung magkasusulat si Jesus na interaction, tinatindog siya. Nag-isapan niyo, kuya mo. Pero ang balya, kung sino si inyo ang wala sala, siya una kapon. Then, matama ka tayo, ang mga tao ngayon, naglalakad na. Then,
continue ako si Lord sa sulat. 2 times sila sa sulat ang sila. And grabe lang impact sa ako, no? Because he told this woman, woman, din sila subong. Where are they? Where are these Pharisees na kahambal nga kinalang kahabuyon? Where are they? Has no one condemned you? And nabas ang adulterous woman, no one, sir. Wala ka na-condemn sa ako. And nabas niya, go now. And wala na nagtapos naman ni Lord. Kaya go now and live your life of sin. Buyan mo ang life of sin. Because you are not meant for that. And nabas niya, si Lord, he stood for this woman, a very sinful woman. And then at the end, he gave hope. And one thing again na gusto ko yun sa ni Lord, that there is hope. May hope in that. And as a church, we are one in this. We are in the battle of sexual immorality. Hindi ang gusto nyo man or hindi, when you step out from this room, when you step out of this church, people around you, your workmates, it's normal. And ikaw, mahipos ka lang. And the Lord is challenging every one of us here to take a stand. Hindi siya normal. Hindi siya dapat maging normal na lang, na okay na lang siya. And then ikaw, kasi sadya ka man, kapamati-mati ka man, kapasakay ka man. No? And kung ikaw, you are struggling with this, no? The Lord is telling you there is hope. There is restoration. And the Lord is not condemning you. But if there's one thing about the Lord, there is hope that you have to live your life of sin. So this is our challenge with everyone's eyes closed. Let's talk to the Lord. Let's ask God for forgiveness. If one time in our lives we said yes to immorality, it may be as small as like, natemptar ka lang in your thoughts, or maybe you are actually living this immorality in your life. And you're telling God, Lord, paano ko di kagwa? I do not know, and I cannot see myself na makagwa ako din. Then talk to the Lord and ask the Lord for forgiveness. Lord, sorry. Lord, I ask for forgiveness. Because there are times that I desire for fleshly things. I desire things that are outside of your guidelines. And next, as you ask forgiveness, receive God's forgiveness. He said to this woman, "My woman, where are they now? Has no one condemned you?" He said, "No one, sir." And the Lord is telling you, no one will condemn you. If you're doing that, no one is condemning you. If your life is like that, no one is condemning you. But son, but daughter, you have to get out from that. You have to run from, run to, and run with. This is the desire of the Lord. That each one of us will have a grasp of what love is. Kaya muli ginahaboy sa enemy sa atin. Because we cannot fully comprehend or understand the love. That's why we keep on running towards other kapapalangga. And in return, we are receiving the wrong kind of things. In return, we are receiving the wrong kind of love. And the Lord wants to free us from that. And next, I want to challenge everyone, if this is your commitment, that Lord, I will fight against sexual immorality. And not just with my life, but even with the lives that I am around with. If this is your commitment that, Lord, I will stand against immorality in my family, immorality in my school. Normal na lang, Lord, now this is not this is not the life that you want, Lord, sa ako. Lord, I will stand against immorality in my family, in my school, in my workplace. If this is your commitment, I'm asking you to stand from your sins. And as you stand from your sin, this is your commitment to the Lord that, yes, Lord, as I stand here, I stand with you. I stand with the real essence of love. I stand with the real meaning of love. And Lord, thank you, Father, because there is hope. There is hope. There is hope in this generation. There is hope against all this. Let's pray, Lord. We thank you, Lord. We may be shocked, Lord, with all the things, Lord, the statistics, Lord, with all the things. Lord, we're not above sa palibot namin, Lord. And we are very sorry, Lord, if there are times, Lord, that we were silent, Lord. We didn't stand, Lord, on the principles that you've given us, Lord. And we're very sorry if we ourselves committed immorality in our lives. And thank you, Lord, because it is your desire for each and everyone to be in your presence, Lord. For each and everyone to enjoy your presence, to enjoy your gifts, Lord. To enjoy, Father, what you have, Lord, and will be giving us, Lord. And that is the very reason, Lord, ang gusto mo sa enemy to take us away from your presence. But salamat, Lord, because you are with us. And in this fight, in this challenge, Father, Lord, you are with us. Lord, we can, Lord, get out from this cycle of defeat, Lord. We can get out from this, Lord, sige, Lord, na paghampak sa enemy sa atin, Lord. Lord, thank you because you are greater, Lord. Thank you for reminding us, Lord, of the cross, Lord, that says that we are forgiven. Lord, I believe, Lord, if there's one word that you've written on that side, Lord, to that adulterous woman, that is forgiven. Maybe you've said that, Lord, she is forgiven. And I pray, Father, Lord, that we will put that in our hearts, that we are forgiven. And as, Lord, you forgave us, Lord, we can live the life that you want us to live, Lord. Lord, we want to thank you for that freedom, Lord. Thank you for that freedom, Lord. And even though we stumble at times, Lord, thank you, Lord, for rescuing us, Lord. Thank you for taking us out of the mud, Lord. Thank you, Father, for telling us, Father, of what real love is, and for showing us, Lord, for showing the cross, and that this is love. And we can come against anything, Lord. Thank you, Father, because you have so much more in store for each and every one. And as we step out here, Lord, I pray that we challenge each and every one, Lord, to live a life of purity, to live a life that is after your heart, to live a life that is within your will, within your presence, Lord. Lord, I pray, Father, that we step out here, Lord, we challenge each and everyone to come against any sign of immorality in their houses, in their families, in their school, even in their working places, Father. Thank you, Father, Lord, because, Lord, you are with us. Thank you, Father, in this battle against immorality, Lord. We also salamat, Lord, because you are with us. And that is your assurance that as we continually follow you, Father, Lord, everything else will fall into its places, Lord. Thank you, Father, for everything. Thank you for your victorious word, Lord, that indeed there is hope. There is always hope in you. And I pray, Father, na muli pakapiyutan namin, Lord, in moments, in seasons that we are struggling, that we are tempted, Lord. Muli pakapiyutan namin that we can get out by your strength and by your Spirit, Father, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for everything. Thank you, Father, for your love, because your love compels. Your love, Lord, pushes us, Lord, to be better, Lord. Your love, Lord, sets the way. Your love, Lord, heals. Your love, Lord, restores. Your love forgives, Lord. Thank you for this love, Lord, that wants the best for us. And I pray, Father, we will want this love in our lives. Lord, thank you for everything. Thank you for this word. Thank you for the testimony, Lord. Again, you share with us, Lord, through this Abigail. We thank you, Father, for just for being with us, Lord, this morning, Lord. And thank you, Father, Lord, for not turning your back against us, Lord. Thank you, Father, for nurturing and for loving this generation, Lord. And as one, Lord, we commit, Lord, that we will stand in this, Lord. We will stand in the gap. As one other, we will fight the battle, Lord. Lord, we lift you up everything, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen.